This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking Monday. It's also the freaking October 7th. Don't worry, we're going to get into all that. We're going to cover that bullshit tonight. Also, it's Live Music Monday. And just ironically, I picked two artists that are very vocal about their opposition to Israel's genocide and Palestinian rights. And in support of Palestinian rights. So we're gonna do Chris Christopherson first, Macklemore second. Chris Christopherson, of course, passing away last week. Rest in power. Macklemore being canceled for leading Fuck America chants. Holiday, clinically, Warlord. Good evening, my friends. Yeah, Milton hype indeed. Clinically, things have gotten far worse in the forecast since we last spoke. I'm going to reiterate that people in Florida probably need to evacuate. Milton doing what nobody thought it would do and intensifying in just a couple hours from a Category 3 to a Category 5. I have heard that it's possible it could hit a Category 6, which I don't think has ever existed before. I may be wrong on that, but I don't think we've ever had a Category 6 before. Not a thing yet, clinically. No, I've seen the number. I've seen the number it has to reach. It's just never happened yet. Nix, Frag, good evening. It is a Category 5 currently. We're going to get to that. I've seen the number that it needs to hit in order for it to be a thing. And it's like over 180 miles per hour plus winds. Holy fuck. A lot of people on YouTube decided to downvote my story about evacuating Florida, where I used the Iron Maiden classic Run to the Hills, Run for Your Life. Thought it was very fitting. Well, you downvote everything, Warlord. I expect nothing less. No, it was overwhelmingly downvoted. Yesterday's, where I used Rock You Like a Hurricane, overwhelmingly upvoted. Today's using Run for the Hills, Run for Your Life, overwhelmingly downvoted on YouTube. I don't know what the people want on the YouTube. Clearly not giving it to them. We're going to try to get through the news as fast as we can so we can do music and not be sad. But we got a lot to talk about, such as Trump peddling in race science. Kamala Harris planting a tree to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of the start of the horrific bombardment of Gaza. I was going to say genocide, but the genocide didn't start on October 7th. It's been going on for years. I have to watch what I say here. We're going to talk about AI and how it's playing a role in the presidential race. Apparently some Republicans sharing around a J.D. Vance Photoshop. We apparently missed a debate. They announced a debate and had a debate in the course of just a couple of days in New Jersey, and the Republican candidate appeared to pass out during the debate. House cleaning continues at New York City Hall. Mexican mayor, sworn in just a couple of days ago, has been assassinated. Deputies shot and killed a man outside of a jail in Georgia. A Long Beach house exploded. Nurse that was attacked on the job was forced to go back to work despite doctors begging her employer to do otherwise. 4 people have been arrested in the assault of former New York Governor Patterson. We've got video of an illegal street racing stunt. Wild video of a circus acrobat falling. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening. There's one thing that's for certain in life. It's death, taxes, and Justin is not high enough for this shit. Good evening. Welcome in. Here is your meme of the day. Israel tweeting out a shot of rockets being fired by Iran, saying this isn't normal. Every single one of these rockets is meant to kill. Marge chiding Homer. You launch rockets all the time. You did it this morning. But when I do it, it's cute, Israel says. Anonymously, Stabby. Good evening. Welcome in, friends. Stabby making it rain off the bat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the support for this show. Helps me bring you things like Senate debates that we're going to be doing this week. Tomorrow, it is the California Senate debate between Adam Schiff and Steve Garvey. On Wednesday, this is the big one. I want mods to be on high alert because on both YouTube and Twitch, because we could be hopping whenever there is a really high-profile Senate race and we cover the debate. We get a lot of people in the chat, and Wednesday night is a big one. It is the Arizona Open Senate seat. Ruben Gallego, the Democratic nominee, debating Carrie Lake, the Republican nominee and batshit crazy MAGA supporter, anonymously. Thank you for the bits. Thank you guys so much. Lenny, welcome in. Somebody give Lenny a shout out. Also tomorrow we have the Michigan Senate debate, a must-win for Democrats. Elisa Slotkin taking on Mike Rogers. That is also an open seat. Elisa Slotkin was a Democratic congresswoman. Mike Rogers, the Republican nominee. So the Michigan Senate debate and Arizona Senate debate tomorrow night. But Ruben Gallego against Carrie Lake, that is going to be one of the big ones for the year. Of course, next week, we have the Texas Senate debate between Colin Allred, Republican incumbent Ted Cruz. That one is going to be huge. Still yet to be announced, a debate between Rick Scott, the Republican incumbent in Florida, and his Democratic challenger, Debbie Mucarsel Powell, who is right on his heels in polling. Allred is a couple points ahead of Ted Cruz. In Nebraska, the independent, he's running as an independent, but is almost unabashedly a leftist. You're going to see an ad from him. He has pulled ahead in the polls in Nebraska. That is tomorrow night. John Tester is also a must-win. We watched the debate with him and she. I do not understand how she can be up on Tester right now. This is the first race that Ted Cruz is facing since his Cancun debacle, and is one of the reasons why he is behind in the polls. Texans don't like Ted Cruz. Republicans don't like Ted Cruz. Tones, good evening, my friend. So glad to see you. I hope you will be joining us for the Texas Senate debate next week. It should be a lot of fun. Now, it is 10 after now. I promised we will get to the news by 10 after. and trying to make this a more concise show. It's not good news. Most of the show is really, really heart-wrenching, so just gonna throw that out there for you. It'd be making us sad, Minty. That's what that news be doing. If you are looking for something a little more lighthearted tonight, please come back and join us for Live Music Monday around 10 p.m. Other than that, it's probably going to be a kick in the balls the entire show. My heart goes out to all my friends, viewers in Florida, because holy shit, it's coming. Our second once in a century hurricane in as many weeks. The second once in a century hurricane in as many weeks. And the wild thing about this is this one's even like more than this is like once in a millennial hurricane. This one may be bigger than anything we've ever seen before. And it's named Milton.
So, I mean, look, there's no way to candy coat this. This is about as bad as it gets.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Even comes remotely close to where the Hurricane Center is forecasting. This is going to be one for the record books in the Bay Area.
Don, good evening.
Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, you may have heard on your phones the alerts a couple of minutes ago. That was a hurricane warning for the entire area. That means hurricane conditions are expected over the next 36 hours. There's nothing surprising about that. We knew that was going to happen. And there is now a storm surge warning, which is also expected.
I feel like it's already storming.
Surge possibility for days. So those are kind of the formalities, and that is where we are right now, okay? The time frame will be late Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, into the overnight, into early on Thursday. Storm surge. These are two separate issues that we're dealing with here. Remember, the most deadly of any weather phenomenon with a hurricane, by far, is the water. It is not the wind, it is not the tornadoes, it is not the flooding, it is the storm surge. And these are the worst case scenarios. These are the numbers that the Hurricane Center releases and says this is the most reasonable worst case scenario. We had about 7 or 8 feet with Helene, so this is about 3 or 4 feet higher than that. Now, where exactly landfall occurs is very important because most of the surge is at that point or a little bit south as the winds go in. You look at this system and I don't even have words to describe it. I mean, it is about as strong of a hurricane as you will ever see. There have only been 2 in history that have been recorded higher in the Gulf. There was Felix and there was Wilma. And Wilma, by the way, hit Florida late in the season as well. It hit Naples, if you remember. Both of those storms weakened before making landfall.
180 miles per hour currently, and this is like within the last hour this was posted. This is very up-to-date information. 180 miles per hour.
This one will too. And I think there's going to be significant weakening. So we're going to look at that and we're going to...
Okay, here's the thing. Is like I want to believe them that there's going to be significant weakening. But they didn't think it was going to go above a Category 3. They thought it was going to weaken over the next couple of days, and it strengthened today. It strengthened rapidly today. So I don't want to alarm anybody, but I just want to throw that out.
These numbers, and everybody is absolutely just scared to death from this, as we should be. If you get a 180 mile an hour wind storm coming in, I don't even know what to say. It's never happened. And it's not going to happen this time either. What is going to happen is as this storm moves north, it is going to run into negative impacts and it's going to weaken. How much it weakens varies from model to model. The Hurricane Center brings it from a 5 now down to a 3 at 120 miles an hour, 120, 125. It should be noted.
Oh, well, at least it's just 125.
Small storm, like Andrew was a very small storm. Remember with Andrew, Homestead, I mean, a 5-mile area got absolutely just devastated from damage. But you get 10, 15 miles out, you didn't have much. This wind field is going to be the same. You're going to have a smaller area where winds are going to probably be 110, 115, maybe 120. So Cat 3. And then everybody else is going to see winds closer to 90 to 100. powerful winds. Trees will come down. There will be issues. But what we're looking at right now cannot maintain itself. It's just not possible. And I'm not saying wishful thinking. Meteorologically speaking, it's never happened before.
You say that?
Can't even imagine it would happen this time. There's way too many things going against it. So overall, rainfall. We're going to get ourselves 5 to 7 inches of rain. That's
a week ago you were saying this probably wouldn't even be a hurricane, so just throwing that out.
Some freshwater flooding just due to how much rain we have coming. Winds. On Wednesday, tropical storm force winds in the morning. This is in the afternoon into the evening, 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. And then the storm, this particular model pretty much brings it right into Tampa Bay with winds of 80 to 90 miles an hour. This model is a little more bullish on that shear weakening it. We will see how that plays out. That is certainly a possibility, and that would be great if it plays out that way. There's no doubt we will all have tropical storm.
Going to hit Wednesday night, between Wednesday night and Thursday morning.
Hurricane winds, again, right there.
So this time,
there's your tropical storm force winds in the yellow.
2 nights from now, I would say we'd be covering this.
Wednesday afternoon, tropical storm force winds.
We have the Arizona Senate debate.
Come in 58 to 73. These are.
I guess we'll take the hurricane coverage after the debates.
Once it moves on shore in the overnight, it will start to weaken. So there will be, I repeat, a small area that is.
Politically, I hope we have you for the Arizona Senate debate. I know you probably looking forward to that.
To be widespread. You take a look Wednesday afternoon, isolated. By Wednesday evening, when the winds really start to come in, they're going to be more widespread, and they'll continue to be widespread.
Please don't do stupid shit for 5,000 views on TikTok.
Strongest along the coast where landfall will occur. And as you see, through the overnight and into Thursday.
I'm thinking it's going to hit after the show.
Power outages that are going to last, as the mayor of St. Pete said.
But we'll know better tomorrow exactly what time.
4 weeks. So there it is. Storm surge up to 12 feet. Worst case scenario in some spots. Rainfall 4 to 12 inches. And wind gusts for most areas 80 to 90 miles an hour. Inland.
You know this guy is serious because he doesn't have his jacket on and he's got suspenders on.
5 to 7 miles is where more of the extreme winds will be.
I will tell you as someone who has worked in TV.
We just don't.
If your weatherman has his jacket off and he has suspenders on.
The overnight, and for that matter, right on through.
The weather is getting bad. Tomorrow night he will not have a tie on. Yeah, clinically, but apparently this is one like you have never seen before. That's the worry about this. I know, hurricanes hit Florida all the time. It's kind of old hat for you guys, but apparently this one is something that has never happened before. And this is a week after 2 weeks after an already devastating storm.
Some of the traffic, right, as people are looking to get out. What are you seeing? How are the roads? How's the evacuation?
Well, I can tell you there's a lot of people who are making their way out of St. Petersburg, and this is where we've spent the last couple of hours, Hallie, and I want to talk about that in just a moment. But for those who are just joining us, I want to make it clear I am not driving. My producer, Aaron, is driving next to me. I am in the passenger seat. I've got the window down, and it's probably...
I mean, we're used to streams where people are driving and streaming.
My phone going off.
She's getting the alert.
It says a hurricane warning in effect, mandatory evacuation, zone A, B, and C. And I actually was just on the phone not that long ago.
It was 3 hours ago, 5 o'clock Tampa time.
Sense of context. When was the last time they did zone C evacuations? And he said, at least not since Irma to his recollection. And that was in 2017. So Hallie, in terms of what we are seeing on the ground, I'm seeing a lot of people who are taking this more seriously than they've ever taken any hurricane in their life. I have been covering hurricanes in Tampa at NBC for a few years now. And I've never seen people...
Now, come on, Lucky. It's not painted harder than a drag queen.
For almost 100 years might be running out with life-threatening storm surge on the way. And then, of course...
Also, good evening, my friend.
...is going to do to these vulnerable communities with all that debris.
Her makeup is on point.
Very stark when you put it the way that experts have, Marissa, that this could be the worst storm that nearly anybody alive has seen in and around Tampa Bay. Marissa Parr, thank you. Buckled up in the passenger seat. It's a good note. We'll check back in with you. I know. Thanks, Marissa. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching.
Shut up, Lester.
Breaking news and
I switched. I had a local story about the evacuation. I switched to NBC just because I knew I could yell at Lester at the end of it. One of the reasons why people are taking this one a lot more seriously is because of what we experienced 2 weeks ago. The death toll from Hurricane Helene has now risen to 227 as the grim task of recovering bodies continues. The death toll from Hurricane Helene inched up to 227 on Saturday. They've still probably found more bodies. God damn. Came ashore on September 26th as a Category 4 and carved a wide swath of destruction as it moved northward from Florida, washing away homes, destroying roads, and knocking out electricity and cell phone service for millions. The number of deaths stood at 225 on Friday. 2 more were recorded in South Carolina the following day. It's still unclear how many people were unaccounted for or missing, and the toll could rise even higher. I think at least 100 are still missing in my immediate area. Helene is the deadliest hurricane to hit the mainland U.S. since Katrina in 2005. About half the victims were in North Carolina, while dozens more killed in Georgia and South Carolina, leaving off Tennessee, which also suffered about a dozen deaths that I know of. 6 at least at the Impact Plastics plant in Irwin. It's going to rise. It's going to keep going up, Lord. We're probably going to hit about 500. Let's do a little lighter news, shall we? Let's do something that's a little less heavy. One year ago today, Hamas attacked a music festival outside of an open-air prison. Sparked an escalation of destruction that the world has never seen before. If you look at the death toll, yeah, I was being ironic. Look at the death tolls. This is worse than like World War II, World War I. It is mass casualties of civilians on a level we have never seen before. Students from Columbia flooded New York City subway today. Back up. We've not seen the student protests pick up the way they had in the fall yet. I'm hoping we get that shortly. This is the name of every person killed in Gaza since Israel began its assault. You'll notice that the ones on your screen currently are babies. They all say 0 years old. And this is the names of every person confirmed. These are just the confirmed fatalities. We're not out of the babies yet. Still at 0 years old. And we're not going to watch this whole video because it's an hour long. These are Palestinians killed in Gaza, innocent civilians, confirmed. I believe this does count starvation, Ducky. Confirmed. These are the confirmed deaths. We have finally gotten into the 1-year-olds. I think it did include the starvation and disease, if I remember correctly. I thought it said that in the headline. It actually doesn't. I'm sorry. More than 41,800 people have been killed in a year of Israel's genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. These are the identities of the 34,000 confirmed. Still in the babies, 1 year old. Yeah, I thought it said it was counting the starvation, but it probably isn't then. This is just the people killed by strikes. I'm sorry, M. Lord. I'm so sorry. We just got 2.5 minutes into an hour-long video. It takes 20 minutes just to get through children. 2.5 minutes or 60 or 76 and older. Well, dealing with how to cover this. As a news show, I have to touch on it. As a comedy show, I don't really want to do it, and there's nothing fucking funny about it. And I'm also going to be fair. We're going to hear from someone who was held hostage by Hamas here in a second. So, I don't ever want to be accused of being biased one way or the other, though I absolutely biased towards the Palestinian cause. This video goes on for an hour. And we're just now in the 3-year-olds. I'm sorry, I don't want to do this. I wish the world wasn't the way it was. I would, in a different situation, I'd be making movies or comedy sketches or something other than this. Israel has expanded its military targets along the Lebanese coastline and is warning residents that it's getting ready to intensify fighting.
Let's get more on Israel's war in Lebanon. The Israeli military has told people living on the South Lebanese coast to evacuate. The order comes after an Israeli airstrike on the coastal city of Thur. Beirut, southern suburb of Thur, has come under some of the most intense bombardment. Israeli forces say they're carrying...
Once again, what a beautiful city that was.
Hezbollah. The attacks have...
The France of the Middle East, they called it.
And 71 people in Lebanon.
Thanks, Israel.
Let's bring in Dorsa Jabari. She's joining us live from Beirut. Dorsa, firstly, what are you hearing about these evacuation orders on the southern coast?
Well, for the first time, the Israeli military is issuing a warning to anybody who is near the coastline from the Awali River southwards. That river is about 30 kilometers from the Lebanese capital. Along the coastline of the country, they need to evacuate and stay away as soon as possible. Now, this comes as we understand intense fighting continues in the southern town of Nakura along the southwestern part of Lebanon. This is the first time the coastline of the country is now getting any kind of a warning from the Israeli military. And it essentially means that a third of the Lebanese coastline is now off limits to people and residents. It's not clear where these people are supposed to go, but what is clear is that the Israeli military is expanding its targets.
Israel don't give a shit.
Hezbollah interests along the coastline. This is also now comes as Israel has essentially got an air campaign being waged against what it says are Hezbollah targets across Lebanon, as well as now what they say is a limited ground operation inside Lebanese territory since they launched that on October 1st. What I want to add is on the ground forces, they have also added another division of Israeli military forces. So they're clearly increasing their presence on the ground when it comes to their, what they say is a limited, targeted ground operation.
Seems like they want to, Lenny, or what they're trying to do is get us to go to war with Iran.
Operation day by day, and we're
it really seems, I am convinced now that Israel is trying to draw the U.S. into a war with Iran. Israel doesn't want to fight Iran. Israel wants us to fight Iran. That's my belief.
Seeing that as we move forward with these continued warning and limitation for civilian population to move within the country.
And also, when you talk about how people, it's not clear where people can go, we have seen so many people coming to the capital, Beirut, and at the same time, continuing strikes on the southern suburb of Thur.
That's right. Just in the past hour, we heard at least 5 consecutive airstrikes in the southern suburb of the capital being carried out. There were no warnings issued. There were no evacuation orders issued this time. And these airstrikes continued in the backdrop of us seeing airplanes landing at Rafik Hariri International Airport, which is very close to the
They want to draw us into the war, so we cover up their war crimes.
Continues to be very, very serious and dangerous, not only for the civilian population that continue to remain in the suburb of Beirut, which was once home to about 700,000 people, but also the international airport that is continuing to still remain open despite the dangers that it faces on a daily basis.
Dorsa, thank you very much for that. That is Dorsa Jabari with all the latest. She's joining us live.
I honestly think the calculation is that they want to draw us in so that we constantly cover for them at the UN and they never get held accountable for the crimes they've committed against humanity. That the U.S. will always veto any action taken against them because we were complicit in it too. Let's hear from a reporter from Al Jazeera who says his life has changed massively, forcing him to be a refugee in his homeland.
This war has massively changed my life, forcing me to be a refugee in my homeland. I have come across plenty of security and humanitarian challenges since day one of the Israeli war on Gaza. This is the impact site of the strike.
Oh, anonymously, I remember it vividly. It was a Saturday, right? October 7th was a Saturday. Because I wasn't streaming. Almost certain it was a Saturday. Can you guys verify that for me? Because it seared into my mind, and I think I woke up at about 11 or noon. And I'm just scrolling through my phone, and I see the attack. I see that the attack had happened overnight. And I want to say it hadn't even been all that long since it happened when I woke up and saw it. Because it happened in the morning there. And my first thought was, oh God, Israel's gonna fucking destroy Gaza. I didn't think they were gonna invade Lebanon. I didn't think they were gonna attack Iran. But like, I knew I knew they were going to destroy Gaza. That was just the first thought that went through my mind. Is like, fuck, what's Israel going to do now?
We are right now at the backyard of Al-Aqsa Hospital. As you can see, this place has turned upside down after an Israeli airstrike. I have been internally displaced along with my family members over 5 times so far, ending up to be trapped here in Deir al-Balah.
It's a wonder he's alive.
It's not quite easy job.
Walking around with that vest that says press and that helmet that says press on it will get you killed in Israel.
To be a journalist in Gaza, because I'm talking to you right now and I'm quite thinking about my family members. It's quite hard to feel that you are unable to afford them with full sense of safety, because you believe that all safe humanitarian zones designated by the Israeli occupation forces have been widely targeted and people were killed in these areas without any warning. It's really a very devastating war that let us witness one of the worst genocides ever committed in modern history.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.
Oh, shut up, Arab Lester. It didn't pop his name up, so I didn't know what to call him. But it wasn't just the... It's not just the Palestinians, though they are the ones with the most suffering from this. I feel sorry for the hostages that were taken by Hamas. I totally condemn them. I condemn Hamas.
Condemn.
We're getting ready to hear from one. If I had to guess, she's pretty hardcore Zionist, so buckle up.
From a kibbutz is sharing her story. Spear Cohen was seen on a motorcycle with Hamas terrorists driving her away to Gaza. She was released after 55 days in captivity. Cohen is now speaking about her spiritual revelation.
Wow. Fox 5's Sharon Crowley joins us live to share Cohen's story of survival. Sharon.
Yeah, it's a very meaningful story. Sapir Cohen was 29 years old when terrorists came in and took her from her kibbutz, kidnapping her and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is still hostage. She says she survived her captivity by leaning into her faith.
I felt miracles.
Hamas terrorists kidnapped Sapir Cohen from a kibbutz in Israel on October 7th. During 55 days in captivity,
probably an influencer,
underground in Gaza tunnels, Sapir says she never lost faith.
I think that one of the biggest miracles that I felt is that I understood that maybe I supposed to be in this place.
1 year ago, on October 7th, Sapir and her boyfriend Sasha heard explosions and gunfire.
It was a rain of rockets.
With no time to get to a shelter, they hid under a bed.
They go home by home and shooting everywhere, everyone, and we just wait to our turn.
Then time ran out.
The terrorists came to our door. They showed the door, they come inside, they took everything, they just broke everything. And then I heard Sasha scream.
Hamas terrorists abducted Sapir, putting her on a motorcycle, and in this video, you see her face covered as 2 kidnappers drive her away at gunpoint into Gaza. Sapir says she was attacked instantly by a crowd in the streets.
They beat me so strong that I put the hands on my head and I was saying, God, please save me. I don't want to die here.
The captors denied Sapir and the other hostages food and clean water.
In the tunnels, it's really bad. You can't know if it's day or night, and you can't...
Hamas probably did protect her.
Despite the grim circumstances, Sapir says while in captivity, she had a spiritual revelation. This video, released by Hamas militants and declassified by the Israeli army, shows some other hostages, 5 female Israeli soldiers. being held at gunpoint near the Gaza border.
When I say this prayer, something...
Wait a minute. Is it proper nomenclature to call soldiers hostages? Wouldn't they be captives in a war? Hostages or civilians that were taken for terroristic purposes. Soldiers would be captives in a war.
Inside of me, I felt peace, and I didn't understand how can I feel it in this situation.
In the moment she decided to shift her attention from her own suffering to someone else, she saw...
Did she go back to the tunnels to take Instagram pictures?
Who needed help.
That I want to save her, and I want to make her happy. From that moment that I decided to take this responsibility, I felt so powerful.
2 months after her kidnapping, Hamas released Sapir along with some of the other hostages as part of a ceasefire and prisoner exchange deal. Her boyfriend, Sasha, remains in captivity, along with as many as 100 others.
I am so inspired by Sapir.
Sapir is probably dead.
And
probably killed by Israel.
Ari Berman,
just throwing that out there.
Yeshiva University here in New York City. After Sapir's release, he invited her to speak to students at Yeshiva University's Stern College for Women.
Oh, Sasha, I'm sorry. Sapir was
of faith.
The girl.
Found her faith and deepened it in the tunnels of Gaza. She prayed to God in captivity, thanking God for bringing her to this place.
Sapir now shares her story with Jewish community.
Okay, cool. What was the revelation that she had while she was there? Did she find sympathy for the people of Gaza? Did she understand the reason why she was taken captive? You're leaving off a little part of the story here. Is she happy that she was taken hostage just so she could make money off of it to be an influencer later? Is that what it is? Shelly, good evening.
He's all over the world.
Faith heals, and faith spreads hope. And that's what she did, and that's what faith stands for.
Now her faith and her prayers are for the Israeli hostages who still haven't come home.
What about the Gazans? There was no substance there. Holy shit. Yeah, it looked like she went back to one of the tunnels that maybe Israel had cleared. It was taking like Instagram photos. Wow. Wow. You know, I wanted to show both sides. I wanted to show you the tragedy in Gaza. I wanted to show you the death and destruction that Israel had brought, but I'm glad I played those back to back because you can see the difference between real reporting of a genocide and propaganda in service of a genocide. So I'm glad we played that. But she mentioned being in a kibbutz. The kibbutz, part of a commune. Well, it didn't work on us. Kibbutz was part of a commune, a storied commune in Israel where a lot of leftists used to stay. We're going to look at what the kibbutz is like 1 year after the Hamas attack.
First targets on the morning of October 7th were communities across southern Israel, hit first by rockets, then infiltrated by gunmen who went house to house, killing and kidnapping civilians. Among those communities, Kibbutz Be'eri, where Nick Schifrin looks back on a day that has changed the country and the region and upended the lives of its 1,000 residents. A warning, some images in this story may be disturbing.
With the content warning.
1 year later, the Bachar home in Kibbutz Be'eri, 3 miles from the Gaza Strip, is frozen in horror. Evidence of a community that will never be the same, a family that will never be whole, and a safe room that couldn't keep them safe.
They get into the house You hear the steps on the floor.
Why did you have to build a safe room? Why did you have to build a safe room in the first place? Why don't we throw that out there? Because you knew you were living next to an open-air prison. Nabil, good evening.
And they know that people still alive. They are in the safe room. So they
Please shout out my buddy Nabil in the chat.
you close, and they try to open, and you close, and they told me, Iftach el bab, open the door.
Avida Bahar lived here with Dana, his wife of 32 years, their son Carmel, and daughter Adar. The home stands as it was 365 days ago. A clock frozen to the time of the attack on this house, and a safe room where Adar Bahar recorded these messages for a local chat group.
They're burning us. We can't. They burn us. Come now. Now. We're being shot. They shot us. Come now.
He shot me through the door. So I saw this one bullet took my arm here in the side. And a few seconds later, I collapsed. I fell into the safe room. Carmel, both hands go because he's holding like that, and the bullets go hit his arm.
The bullet holes and his or his son's blood still stain the door.
Help us, please. They threw 3 grenades at us. Please help us. We're dying here. My whole leg is injured. My whole leg is punctured. Dad, all his legs. Carmel, too. Mom is going to die, I'm telling you. Help us. Anyone who can help us, please. I love you. We love you. We all love you. Carmel, stay with us. Don't close your eyes. Mom, stay with us. Don't die.
Dana, she told me, I can't breathe. Adar, she tried to clean it a little bit. And she told Adar, it's done. I don't have nothing in this world. And she died. Carmel, he told me, Dad, when you bury me, please do it with my surfboard. A few seconds later, he got his short breath and he died.
A few weeks later, he and Avida led the funeral. A family split in half. A country in mourning and shock. And a son's final wish granted. Carmel buried with his surfboard. Bahar's leg was amputated, and he spent 5 months in the hospital.
How does your leg feel today?
Good. Practicing.
Today, he's increasingly sure of his step and of a lesson taught by tragedy.
This is also a very good juxtaposition. We get all the details, their life story. We get a face put to the name. Meanwhile, when it comes to those killed in Gaza, we just got a long list of names. It goes on for an hour. Where's their stories? Who's putting a face to those names? Hour. 20 minutes of this is just children.
When you say thank you for something, I'm not believing God, but I can say thank you to Dana. About 32 years with me. I met her, she was 17.
I feel sorry for this dude.
For 32 years? Why you cry? You got everything. You got more than rich people in the world. You got everything.
I'm sad he lost his daughter.
Thank you for her about this time. And I can thank you also to Carmel. About 15 years, because I got a great son.
Be'eri's 1,000 residents lived in about 3 square miles.
Thousands upon thousands of Palestinians.
140 gunmen, some wearing Israeli uniforms.
Or just an afterthought.
Civilians killed point blank. Dead bodies discarded or denied any dignity and taken back to Gaza. A couple embracing each other burned alive. In total, 101 civilians, more than 1/10 of Be'eri's population, and more than 30 security personnel were killed, including a friend who fought alongside Yonatan Alfia.
The chaos was so high, none of us understood what's going on.
Oh, you were part of the IDF, eh?
And former paratrooper. He and others came from all over to join a handful of Israeli special forces to fight back, It took them nearly 2 days to declare Be'eri liberated and bring shocked survivors out of their safe rooms.
Why did they have safe rooms to begin with?
This area was that we came to the battle unprepared. I, for example, came only with my personal handgun. When the other side, Hamas terrorists, fight us with RPGs.
I feel like if you are a viewer that doesn't have all the information, you hear the idea that somebody has a safe room. All these houses had safe rooms. What was the reason they had to have safe rooms? Could it be that they were in an occupied territory? They were in someone else's country.
Rockets, suicide drones, automatic weapons, mortar bombs, and well-prepared command.
The IDF's own investigation into actions here in Be'eri admitted that it failed the residents here, that the early response was characterized by a lack of coordination and command and control, and that the residents of Be'eri were largely left on their own for the first 7 hours.
Be'eri's founders came here in 1946 when it was nothing but Negev desert. They were pioneers, hoping to help create a country and build an agricultural settlement with residents who lived.
It was already a country.
There was nothing here because there were no water. Everything that you see here is planted. Everything is man-made.
Nili Bar Sinai has lived here for a half-century, lured by Yoram Bar Sinai, one of the kibbutz's original architects. They started a family and advocated for the kibbutz's founding principle, cooperation.
He's
communism,
cooperative and not competitive. That he wants to live together, and it's the saddest irony of all that, that we think in such cooperative terms, and this is what they do to us.
You live on the opposite side of the kibbutz, and your husband came here on the morning of the 7th.
Yes.
1 year ago, Yoram Bar Sinai rushed to this house, their daughters, to help defend her and the grandkids.
They stopped the car and went up, 7 of them, and he shot and they shot.
I'm assuming she's a communist, right? That's what the...
With 3 kids, and she heard the sound. And then she heard steps coming, and she hoped...
Also a colonist, yeah.
But it wasn't, somebody opened with this thing, and she slammed the door on him, and she stayed there holding the handle for 20 hours, I think. He was a cooperative guy. He could handle anyone, including me. He could take me for
a rough woman.
You can imagine. He was a good father. And he was, like all kibbutznikim, he was an army officer, and he was playing guitar, he was drawing, he was just...
Che was a bit of a homophobe. Che was a bit of a homophobe.
To the east, another kibbutz, Hatzarim, has opened its doors to Be'eri's displaced and built them new prefab houses, including for Ayelet Hakim.
What was done to us on the 7th of October is unimaginable, and I don't think anybody invented a word for it. And my life since, it's just the same, I have a house, but not a home.
Hakim knows how lucky she is.
They totally invented a word for the response Israel has engaged in. It's called genocide.
1 year ago today, alongside her brother-in-law, Ohad Ben-Ami, 2 of 30 hostages taken from Be'eri. Raz was released during last November's ceasefire, but Ohad remains a hostage.
I try to convince myself he's still alive, because we know about dead hostages. So if we know about the dead hostages, the other ones that we don't know about are still alive, as far as we know. And hopefully they'll do something about it and bring him back.
Your government has had the opportunity.
Center of their loss, residents rallied for the hostages and hoped they heard a message. You are not alone, they chant.
But we don't know what their politics are. They could be anti-Netanyahu.
We're back to Be'eri.
There is a contingent of Israelis that are against the government.
I'm born here.
And thinks that Netanyahu has mishandled this and killed hostages.
Be'eri again.
My mother was killed 50 years ago, at the Lod airport, and now my husband, and still I'm here. So they will have to understand this. That nobody is going because they kill us. Nobody is going.
Determination despite devastation, but this community and country are still traumatized, and 1 year later, Be'eri, on October the 7th, remains an open wound. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.
I can't believe how bad the PBS reporting was, but Al Jazeera did an amazing job. The two pieces that we watched from them. So, balanced coverage, I hope. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., our next president was apparently planting trees to commemorate the 1 year anniversary of October 7th.
October 7th hit us hard as a community. We are still hurting. And today feels just as raw as it did 1 year ago. What happened on October 7th is seared into our souls. I can't stop thinking about the hostages and their families and all of those we've lost over the past year.
But the Gazans.
Earlier today, I attended AJC's National October 7th Memorial Commemoration at 6 and I recited a prayer for peace, that we all see the day soon when this war...
It was apparently a pomegranate tree.
As the first Jewish spouse of an American president or vice president, I take this role very seriously. Kamala is the one who encouraged me to use my platform I have to fight against anti-Semitism and hate. She is also the person who encouraged me to lean into my Jewish faith.
By the way, what's the...
When we first moved into this residence...
What's the story? This dude apparently smacked his wife at a film festival?
With our family present. Now, as we prepare...
Which is horrible. I'm not going to make excuses for him. If that is indeed true, but the right-wingers that are running with this story are wild to me. Since Dana White spoke at the RNC like 3 months after he publicly smacked the shit out of his wife. Are you shitting me?
To leave a legacy of our time here, we plant this pomegranate tree to honor this solemn day and for the families who will come after us to enjoy. This is the first tree we've planted since we moved in here, and it'll be the first fruit tree ever planted by a second family at the residence. Kalma and I are proud to continue a tradition with this symbolic meaning for every family.
They don't usually let you fucks plant anything.
Live here. And it is especially meaningful to me that this
important enough
will now always commemorate the pain of the Jewish people, as well as the resilience and hope of the Jewish people. May the memories of those we've lost be a blessing. Thank you.
Get to digging. Down in a hole. Yes, he's incredibly boring. Kamala seems to be like the fun one in that relationship. Has my Discord link expired? I'm sorry. I will check that out then. Does that one work, Staffy? I don't even look like a tree. What are they doing? Are they like praying over it? That's weird. Look like a bush, not a tree, but what do I know? I don't know anything about the races of different trees. I don't subscribe to that race science stuff like former President Trump does. Here he is on with Hugh Hewitt earlier today.
Just have something. She wants to go into government housing. She wants to go into government feeding. She wants to feed people. She wants to feed people governmentally. She wants to go into a communist party type system. When you look at the things that she proposes, they're so far off. She has no clue. How about allowing
I'll get it fixed, Abby.
To an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers. Many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now. They had 400. She wants to go into government housing.
In their genes. We got a lot of bad genes in this country. Also, one of the people that he thinks has bad genes apparently is Kamala Harris herself. This is a two-parter. It's a shot and chaser.
Says everything she says is a liar. You know, it's a total lie. Look, she had one thing in her resume. It was a big deal. You know, I talk about it a lot because it's so simple for people to understand. I worked at McDonald's, she said. I worked there. Oh, it was so hard. It was so this. I worked there for so long. It was so terrible. She worked over the French fries. Okay, it was so terrible. The heat was so. She never worked there. Okay, that was one of many lies. Now that was a sort of a, you know, it's bigger a lie than people think. What I like is it's so simple to understand. You know, a lot of her lies, you know, they go around. Although she doesn't lie in a complicated way because her mind doesn't work that way. She's not a smart person. She's a low IQ individual, and this country can't have a low IQ person doing this for another 4 years. We had it for 4 years with him. We can't have a low IQ person. She's a stupid person. We can't have a stupid person as our president. I think they don't believe any.
I mean, I agree with him. We can't have a stupid person as president. Matt Spear, that's a name I haven't heard in years. He got really upset with me. Abu El Kir. Welcome in, my friend. Glad to have you here. Harris was asked about Trump's comments on race science.
Harris addressed the powerful Hurricane Milton now bearing down on Florida's Gulf Coast, and also the dangerous disinformation we've been covering today that's being spread right now by Donald Trump about the government's relief efforts from Hurricane Helene. Listen to the vice president's exchange with reporters on the tarmac at Joint Base Andrews just moments ago.
So I just got off the phone with Administrator Criswell at FEMA, and I cannot stress enough to all the folks in Florida, in the Tampa area, please listen to evacuation orders. Please listen to your local officials, because I know a lot of folks out there have survived these hurricanes before. This one is going to be very, very serious. And I urge you to please just grab whatever you need. Listen to the orders you're getting from your local officials. They know what they're telling you, and they know what Milton is about to be. So,
I can't believe they named it Milton.
The other point I'd make is that there's a lot of mis and disinformation being pushed out there by the former president about what is available, in particular to the survivors of Helene. And first of all, it's extraordinarily irresponsible. It's about him. It's not about you. And the reality is that FEMA has so many resources that are available to folks who desperately need them now, and resources that are about helping people get back on their feet and rebuild and have places to go. You are entitled to these resources. People are entitled to these resources, and it is critically important that people apply for the help that is there to support. That all of those resources were created for just these kinds of moments in an emergency situation, knowing that folks are entitled to have the relief that they so rightly need at this moment in time. So listen to your sheriffs around the places that have been impacted by Helene. Listen to your local sheriff, who's going to tell you straight about what's available to you and how, for so many reasons and ways, there are no conditions attached to the relief that's available to you.
Madam Vice President, Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and
ignoring Biden's calls.
How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Madam Vice President.
That was Vice President Kamala Harris.
And she's right. Trump out here spreading all kinds of misinformation. They're talking about that 750, immigrants get all kinds of money. Ukraine gets all kinds of money, but they're only giving out 750. That's not true. You can get 750 from FEMA, and they approve it in like a day or two. It will be in your account like a day or two. You just go sign up for it. 750 in your account. That's for food that's spoiled. That's for any kind of emergency shit that you need right away. Generators, hotel rooms, things like that. Then there's another form you fill out to actually help rebuild, where you can get money on the back end. The 750 is just for your immediate needs in the next week or two. Politically says it's in hours. I saw people say it was within 48 hours. So that's I don't want to lead anybody wrong. If you are in the area, if you're in one of the affected areas in Helene, you can still go sign up on the FEMA website for your 750. If you need that website, I will get it for you. I said I was going to put together a list of resources. I didn't get around to it. I had a really busy day. Also, had to get up early, and then I slept most of the day. So sorry about that. Saw this story from the Bulwark. Propaganda, AI fakes, and MAGA's totalitarian kitsch. Young child wearing a life preserver holds a puppy as rain streaks down her face and mats her hair. Has everyone seen this picture? I put it on the thumbnail for today. This is AI generated, being shared out by right-wingers in order to lampoon the FEMA response. Both figures appear to be drenched as they sit in a boat surrounded by flat, muddy water. The surface disturbed by raindrops. Out of focus in the background is another boat with several undistinguishable figures. This picture has been seared into my mind. Amy Kremer, a national committee woman for the Republican National Committee and co-founder of Women for Trump, wrote in a post sharing the image on Twitter, "My heart hurts. There's only one problem. The image isn't real." While at first glance, this picture might seem like just another entry into the gallery of AI slop that has come to define the MAGA aesthetic, it is being used by top Republicans as part of a larger strategy to attack the Biden administration's response to Hurricane Helene. Kamala evacuated the Haitian migrants from Haiti, but not the American children from North Carolina, wrote former Trump advisor Stephen Miller in a, quote, tweet with the image. He deleted the post, but the sentiment lives on among his vast following. "So sad," wrote Laura Loomer in response to someone sharing the image with the caption, "Our government has failed us again." Apparently, Loomer sporting a baby bump, I have heard. That is just a rumor, though. Do not read into that one. Loomer shared the image and other misinformation on Twitter while pushing to rename the unfolding tragedy Hurricane Kamala. Travis, sports journalist turned Trump sycophant, who recently had an exclusive interview with the former president, retweeted a Newsmax talk show host who suggested the photographer of the image would get a Pulitzer if a Republican had been president. These are not innocent mistakes. Anyone looking closely at the image would spot clues that it's fake. The inconsistencies range from the texture of the puppy's fur to the tears running down the girl's face to her cartoonish expression and the compromised design integrity of the life preserver she's wearing. Doesn't matter how obviously wrong or ridiculous an image may seem, when people, especially the elderly who are more likely to have difficulty with their vision, scroll past it on a 3-inch screen. Why wouldn't they trust it to be real when someone as serious as Stephen Miller, one of Trump's top advisors in the White House, shared it? People don't have media literacy. They don't have critical thinking skills. This is why a well-rounded liberal arts education is important. Because then you're not immune to bullshit, but you are much more likely to be able to detect it. And I believe that is totally why liberals and the right have attacked higher education. That's why they want to make it unattainable. They don't want you to have critical thinking skills. They don't want you to be able to value yourself and know your own worth. It's a lot easier to manipulate you that way. If you would like to read the full story, wait, there's more? And you guys know the news comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hell, while we're on the topic of fake images, let's do this one, shall we? Has everyone seen the image of J.D. Vance going around that was photoshopped?
It's time for our worst of the week, the delusional J.D. Vance defense edition. The drama began in Tuesday's vice presidential debate when J.D. Vance continued his racist lies of Haitian immigrants overwhelming the community of Springfield, Ohio, prompting a comment from the moderators.
Just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does
high enough for this shit
of Haitian migrants who have legal status.
Abu El Kir, this is the perfect time. Thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to plug. Check this out. On my YouTube channel, go to the main channel, JustinFREAKIN. Channel. If you go to the main channel, you will see all the different categories you can go down to. Scroll down to calls, debates, and right-wing nonsense. You can find there's multiple videos with Matt. You can find the whole story about how my encounter with Matt unfolded 3 years ago. Dude who hosts a show called Don't Unfriend Me blocked me on everything because he can't take his own views being challenged. I like the quote, just because I like Trump, I'm not a right-winger, you cuck. Plenty of right-wing nonsense, though. Pentuple TV, Dalton Codfelter, Jackson Hinkle's main mod, Matt Walsh. My interview with Kyle Rittenhouse. Go watch my interview with Kyle Rittenhouse. Or Bryson Gray, the MAGA rapper. All kinds of fun stuff in the calls, debates, and right-wing nonsense category on my YouTube. Find out if Garth Brooks is Country P. Diddy. Me and Media Winch on the Freak Show. Best Freak Show I've ever done with the Media Winch this past Friday. If you did not see it, do go back and check it out. I think we did a banging job. Go check out the freaking news. Of course, you can get all the choice cuts from the Troll Patrol. Don't unfriend me before I can block you. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to promote the news section on the YouTube channel, because I know a lot of people like my arguments. Not everybody tunes into the show for them, but some people really like them, so they're there. It's pretty much all the calls, all the debates I've had here on the show. Reverse Thread, good evening, my friend. Welcome in. We're so glad to see you. We're on the topic of fake images being shared by MAGA. Did you guys see the picture of J.D. Vance they're sharing out?
Of the week, the delusional J.D. Vance defense edition. The drama began in Tuesday's vice presidential debate when J.D. Vance continued his racist lies of Haitian immigrants overwhelming the community of Springfield, Ohio, prompting a comment from the moderators.
That was just Tuesday? That wasn't even a week ago? That feels so long ago.
Just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check.
The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, a.k.a. you're supposed to let me lie and not interrupt my lying. Now, CBS did say the onus was on the candidates to correct each other, but the moderators made no promise to stay out of the fray completely. Well, right on cue, Vance's right-wing allies lashed out. Unsurprisingly, we got the unexpected sexist rhetoric with Donald Trump referring to CBS moderators Margaret Brennan and Norah O'Donnell as young ladies on his failed social media site. Or this classy comment from Fox's alleged resident funny man, Greg Gutfeld.
Alleged.
Yeah,
right?
They were nagging him and he was mansplaining them.
But it wasn't just the men. Conservative women rushed to denigrate the moderators in Vance's defense. Case in point, former Fox host turned MAGA podcaster Megyn Kelly.
The moderators,
I knew it was going to be Kelly.
Margaret Brennan, not only do you desperately need some bronzer, you need to understand how to moderate a fair debate.
Laura Loomer demanded Vance put these broads in their place.
I need bronzer.
Ann Coulter came out of the woodwork with an old standby, bimbos. My panel is back with me. I'll start with you, Hayes. I mean, what do you think? Out of all of these ones, it's pretty rich that blackface Megyn Kelly.
Oh, now I'm interested. Elkir. You guys were cool up until we got really racist about Palestinians, right? That sounds right.
I mean, all of those were bad. They were all bad this week. I gotta say that the bronzer comment is going to stick with me just in terms of sheer, but why?
Yeah.
But why did you need to say that? Like, a lot of the other insults were ridiculous. My favorite of the worst, though, was Donald Trump's young ladies, though, because it serves to remind us all that he is very old.
Right.
It is very grandpa calling like his grandkid who is in her 30s by now, young lady energy out of him to do such a thing.
But what do you make of it? I mean,
Martha's in her 40s, isn't she?
Going after
I would assume she's older than I am.
Other women in this kind of vulgar and demeaning way. Nobody actually debated the merits or countered the point.
Oh, Norah, 50.
Which means, A, it is a lie that they know that Springfield, what they're saying about Springfield is a lie, demonstrably. But they didn't actually try to argue the merits of what is being said about Springfield. They just attacked them, whether it's about their looks or broads or bimbos or young or, not looking the way that Megyn Kelly wants them to look.
I mean, it's just, Megyn Kelly is rich, in her commentary that she has, as well as Laura Loomer, because they believe that their proximity to maleness, to the patriarchy, to white men is going to save them. They are the handmaids, right? Of white supremacy. And so when you listen to the language that they use, and I'm just like, this is what, Megyn Kelly was part of the lawsuit at Fox, right? For sexual harassment. And people who were not Republicans came to her aid on social media. And now I'm just like, why would you do that? Megyn Kelly is so destructive and disgusting.
Because she tried to pivot and join NBC and she has no fucking talent. So therefore she didn't make it and she had to pivot back to right-wing media where it's a hell of a lot easier.
As well as Laura Loomer, but this is who they are. And they're being used, and they like to be used, frankly, as these puppets for white male supremacy so that they can be seen as like the good ones, right? Like they're Trump's women and they like that tag, just like he points to the blacks over there and he's just like, oh, my blacks.
Yeah.
Those are his broads. And he loves that. And they love it too.
Hayes, we've seen some bizarre displays of fealty towards Vance this week, but this one from GOP Congressman Mike Collins, it really takes the cake. I'm sure you guys have seen this. It's GOP Congressman Mike Collins posting this photo of Vance. And let's pause and scrutinize.
Seriously, look at that. Representative Mike Collins shared that out. Doesn't even look like him because it's not him.
Is this? I don't even know what to say about that. I mean,
looks like a couple of things happened here. One, they ran it through a literal yassified filter, like just to suck in those cheeks, put that jawline out there, make those eyes pop a little more. Or they just put in AI request for JD Vance, but you can't really.
Here's the original picture.
Is this how they see? Like,
Yes.
this is what.
There's the original picture. Who does that? That's the one that's supposed to have the gays swooning. I would not swoon over him.
This is what makes me like fearful is that this is how they see themselves. It's like they're looking at themselves inside of a funhouse mirror. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like when they put Donald Trump on Rambo's body, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's just
or like Rocky or whatever.
That's not what I
mean,
see.
the rainbow thing is kind of like whatever, because it's. I mean, I get it, the symbolism of it. Like they're trying to make him sound like this like tough guy, American guy, but this is creepy. That's cultish and it's weird. And
yes,
not normal.
We all saw him.
Yeah,
on
I know.
camera.
That's what it's like. Look at this. It's like
I'm just curious who found that picture for Collins's Twitter or X account, because I mean,
he might have made it.
He might have made it. He might have just typed into ChatGPT or whatever. Give me or
Ozempic JD Vance.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has the funds to get a personal trainer.
It's not my name, and
I mean, I'm just saying that's what the picture looks like. I'm not like saying it's not.
There's the bronzer that Megan.
Nick's over here like I need to work out. The other night when the con man dude tried to troll us, and they tried to go after Snicks, and they saw her picture on her Twitter, and he tried to call her con man tried to call her ugly, and the whole chat was like, "Nah, Snicks is hot." It was hilarious. If you guys weren't, that was after I had already got off stream. I went into his stream and got on his show. I don't have that. I didn't record it. I should have recorded it. Mama Az, good evening. Dougie, did I tell you good evening? Abattoir. Welcome in, my friend. So glad to see you. We finding out what that news be doing. Let me tell you, this is going to be, I prefaced this entire show by saying it was all going to be a kick in the balls. But this one might make you happy, because apparently Elon Musk is very concerned about what will happen to him if Trump doesn't win the election.
If he loses, man, what? Because it's not like you can say,
You don't see your children now, you deadbeat motherfucker. They all hate your guts. Holy shit. Will I see the children that won't talk to you? You dumbass. You don't see your children now because they don't have a relationship with you because you're a gigantic piece of shit. You're not going to prison, but God, I hope you lose all your government contracts.
if he loses, man, what? You're fucked, dude.
I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked.
Yeah, DJ Dub, ignore.
Maxed out. If he loses, man, what?
Grant, I like the way you think. We have better ideas. It's a little bit more extreme than a titty slap.
Titty slap!
Come on, now.
Remember when Chris Matthews, hardball with Chris Matthews. Remember when he said that like Bernie Sanders was going to take him into what was it? He was going to take him into Central Park and chop his head off or something. Well, I don't even remember what he said. Something he implied that Bernie Sanders won. He was going to be executed in Central Park. Chris Matthews, MSNBC host. I mean, insane. Let me tell you what leftism actually is. Leftism looks a lot like this. This is Senate candidate in Nebraska, Dan Osborne. He is running as an independent because it's a red state and Democrats are a toxic brand. This man decided to run as an independent, and this is what true leftist populism looks like. And this is the reason why he just pulled ahead in the polls this week.
What if, for once, we elected someone who actually worked for a living?
Dan Osborne.
Dan Osborne.
Dan Osborne.
Navy vet, industrial mechanic, independent.
Working class, blue-collar man.
When corporate greed threatened workers at my factory, I took a stand. I'm running for U.S. Senate because people aren't getting a fair shake. Costs are too high. The border's not secure. And the government...
The border!
...our taxpayer dollars. Corrupt politicians...
What's Nebraska?
...billions to corporations. Deb Fisher, she's a part of the problem.
She takes all this money from special interests, and she won't even meet with Nebraskans.
It has been years since she's actually held a town hall.
Deb Fisher has gotten 10 times richer while in office.
That might be normal in Washington, but that doesn't make it right. I've been a registered independent for over 20 years. I don't take corporate money. I won't answer to a party boss. Only the people of Nebraska. I'm Dan Osborne. I approve this message because it's time we change Washington.
Other than the whole border bullshit, that was a fantastic ad. Why'd you have to include that? I mean, I guess it's polling in Nebraska. Nebraska. Nebraska is on the border, isn't it? Nope. It's under South Dakota. My bad. I don't know my geography. Nope, Nebraska pretty far away from both borders. Yes, somebody needs a geography class. Oh, fuck. Lucky, have you not been here long enough to remember that Justin doesn't remember shit? Justin has a hard time retaining information. Justin's like the dude from Memento. Remember Sammy Jenkins? I gotta write shit down on my arm. It's amazing I don't have like my pin number tattooed on me. Yeah, it's pretty much right in the fucking center. DJ Dub, thank you for giving Lucky the gift sub. I'm sad I missed a New Jersey debate. I try to keep up with all these debates, but they apparently announced this one. Motherfucker. They apparently announced this debate like within days. And held it within days because I completely missed it. New Jersey Senate candidate Curtis Bashaw nearly passes out during the debate.
Are dealing with affordability in a sensible way.
You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
He sure don't seem like it.
Do you want to?
I think maybe we need to take a commercial break and address some issues here on the stage.
He apparently didn't eat all day. It was a lack of eating, he says.
Stay with us.
Thank you for the well wishes. I was out campaigning all day and I never stopped to get a bite to eat. Excited to eat pizza with my fantastic volunteers at the post-debate party tonight. Curtis Bashaw, a GOP hopeful for U.S. Senate, froze and nearly fell over during a Sunday night debate against his Democratic rival in New Jersey, a frightening moment he later attributed to not having eaten all day. The 63-year-old Republican. Now, to be fair, when Ric Flair passed out like 3 times during his last match, he said he hadn't eaten or drank water all day, that he'd just been drinking beer. And I believe that. I believe that. He got a little McConnell. Sir, good evening. The 63-year-old Republican had been in the middle of a statement about affordability when he suddenly stopped, moaned lightly, and began to lean forward. When Bashaw returned to the stage about 10 minutes later, he blamed the worrying incident on a failure to eat. I got so worked up about this affordability issue that I realized I hadn't eaten so much food today, so I appreciate your indulgence. He then finished the 2-hour event in Nutley without incident, and the two candidates sparred over hot-button issues such as abortion, immigration, and Bashaw's support of Donald Trump. So sorry I missed that one. I don't know when they announced it. I've been looking for New Jersey debate for a while, and I missed it. My apologies. I'll try not to drop the ball on any more debates. Remember, tomorrow night we've got Michigan debate and the big one. No, hold on. Tomorrow night's California debate. Tomorrow night is California debate between Adam Schiff and Steve Garvey. I'm sorry. Wednesday night is the big one between Kerry Lake in Arizona and Ruben Gallego. We really need to get a lettuce. We really need to get a head of lettuce. Will Mayor Eric Adams of New York City make it longer than a head of lettuce?
City Hall, Mayor Adams, and house cleaning still going on there. The termination of another staffer and 2 more resignations. Dick Brennan here now with the latest on this. Dick.
Yeah, exactly. It is just one more piece of stunning news from City Hall. Maurice, another wave of departures today as a mayor under indictment himself tries to manage the city amidst the turmoil.
Rana Abasova was terminated. She had worked in the mayor's international affairs office and is reportedly cooperating with the feds. Winnie Greco resigned. Federal agents searched properties belonging to her. She served as the mayor's director of Asian affairs. And Mohammed Bahi, with the mayor's community affairs unit, resigned. Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Philip Banks submitted his letter of resignation last night, and today the mayor confirmed that he accepted it. Banks had had his phone seized by federal agents. His attorney says he is not a target of the U.S. Attorney's investigation. Mayor Adams was indicted on federal charges, including bribery, and pleaded not guilty. But Adams insists he's not going anywhere.
The question is, can he put together a team and remain persuasively in charge of that team, arguing a vision for outcomes in the city that he can see through to term? And right now, all of those questions are very...
Nope, you're going to get aborted.
Now, others who have resigned include former NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban, Adams' top advisor Timothy Pearson, and Lisa Zornberg, the mayor's former chief counsel. So, Maurice, the churn just continues.
Yeah, like a drumbeat. Just keeps on going.
Like a drumbeat. I don't think Mayor Adams lasts the year, but what do I know? I know one mayor that didn't last very long. This Mexican mayor was sworn into office just a couple of days ago. Now been assassinated.
In the capital of Mexico's violence-plagued state of Guerrero, police hold the scene where its new mayor was found dead. Alejandro Arcos had only been mayor of Chilpancingo for 6 days before being killed on Sunday, according to Guerrero's governor. Photos had circulated on WhatsApp depicting a severed head on top of a pickup truck, appearing to be that of Arcos. Reuters could not independently verify the photo's authenticity. Guerrero State's Attorney General's office said it was investigating his murder. 3 days before the mayor was murdered, the new city government secretary was also killed. He was shot to death. The head of Mexico's PRI political party has called on the federal attorney general's office to lead the investigation into both deaths, given, quote, the situation of ungovernability in Guerrero. It's become one of the deadliest states for aspiring and elected public officials, as well as for journalists. At least 6 candidates for public office were killed in the state in the run-up to Mexico's June 2nd elections.
El lamentable suceso del presidente municipal de Chilpancingo.
On Monday, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum spoke about the case.
Las investigaciones necesarias.
She said her cabinet planned to roll out a new security strategy on Tuesday.
Severed head on top of his truck. Wow. Of course, the new president, a leftist, sworn into office, 2 weeks ago? Apparently has her work cut out for her. But let's talk about that transition. I did not plan that. I did not put those 2 stories back to back for that purpose. Do you see how smoothly I did that? This mayor didn't make it very long. Sometimes I do that in my notes, and I know I'll even come up with a good one-liner to transition. That one was completely on the fly. Go to Georgia, where apparently a man opened fire outside of a jail in Gwinnett County. Deputies killed the man.
Let's get right to Fox 5's Kevin Stewart. Kevin, what can you tell us at this point?
Hey, the sheriff just wrapped up a news conference, probably not even 15 minutes ago. He came here to tell us that a suspect was at the jail this afternoon and began acting erratically. And once he left the building, he went to his car, pulled out a gun, and began firing at deputies, who then returned fire and then shot him. He's been taken to an undisclosed hospital at this point. We don't know his condition, and we have no motive as to why this all happened. And we do not know right now if there are. We do know that there are no injuries to deputies. I want you to take a listen to what the sheriff had to say. Take a listen.
You asked the question, are my deputies okay? No, nobody's ever okay after these type of situations.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
The ongoing trauma, mental trauma, things that we're going to have to deal with, all of us, when we have incidents like this. So, an accurate statement, I thank God that none of my deputies got hurt physically during this encounter. But we will have people on hand to make sure that my deputies, civilian staff, anyone else that had any part in this that needs that type of assistance, we'll make sure that they get it.
All right, so no deputies hurt, but the suspect is
sheriffs are the worst.
Undisclosed jail, undisclosed hospital in the area. I can tell you that also we know that the GBI, as with all officer-involved shootings, is investigating this case. My colleague, Christopher King, is also on this case. He'll have more for you coming up later on Fox 5 News. But for now,
Chris King going to bring us the update. Probably at the 11 o'clock. I hope we have video of this. I don't know. I don't know if we do. Go to Long Beach, where a house apparently exploded. Oh, I don't know that we have video of the explosion. Surely there's a ring camera or something.
Leaving one man severely injured and sending shockwaves through the surrounding community.
Resources arrived on scene, identified that an explosion had in fact occurred. There was multiple small fires and smoke. We aggressively initiated fire attack on those, addressed those small fires, and certainly extinguished them.
The blast occurred on the 2800 block of Gale Avenue, where fire officials say an ADU in the back of the property exploded, sending debris everywhere.
We're about 4 blocks away, 4 houses away, and we just heard like a loud, like an explosion, a very loud sound. It felt kind of like an earthquake, but except like we peeked outside of the window and we saw a lot of things coming from the air onto the floor. It was like pieces of the house. Off camera, a family who lived in the front house spoke to Eyewitness News and said their uncle, who lived in the ADU, was inside at the time of the explosion. His 2 children were not home, but he sustained severe burns and was quickly transported to the hospital for treatment.
I heard that somebody, it was people inside and explodes and his face is burning, but I'm so glad that I heard the guy is okay.
We're doing our due diligence, making sure we're working with the various city departments to address that, to make sure there is no hazard in the community, to make sure all the hazards have been addressed, and really to make sure the scene is safe and secure.
And this is still much a very active scene as firefighters are trying to determine the exact cause of that explosion.
Hello, I'm Mark.
Hey, Mark Brown. I feel like we've seen like 7 houses explode this year. The explosion? No. I found a newer news story on it. If I can find video of the explosion, you damn right I'm going to show it. It looks like the commercial break hit again, but everybody subbed, right? I haven't even worried about commercial breaks lately. Pretty much everybody got a sub, so I haven't taken commercial breaks. I try to play them when I can to get them out of the way for people who might not be subbed. Anybody miss any content? Going back to Georgia, where an Atlanta nurse was attacked while she was on the job. Her employer wanted her back. Doctors recommended against that.
Tonight at 6, a nurse at the Atlanta VA Medical Center is sounding the alarm about trouble at that hospital. Letitia Shannon reached out to 11 Alive and Investigate, saying after a patient attacked her, she was left high and dry by the VA, which did not conduct a formal investigation.
Instead, she says she was urged to come back to work despite protests from her medical providers. 11 Alive investigator Savannah Levin's getting answers from the VA tonight as that nurse and other staff members tell us the attack has left them feeling vulnerable and unsupported.
The VA does fantastic work. They are severely underfunded and understaffed. I feel sorry for the VA staff. Just remember, VA, like, people complain about the VA all the time, but people who have access to the VA like it better than private health insurance, so keep that in mind.
This is the bruises I had.
The photos tell the story.
Close up of my jaw.
Of July 23rd.
When my face was healing from being split open.
When Letitia Shannon's 24th year of nursing became the worst one yet.
That's what scares me the most, is am I gonna ever be the same?
Letitia was working on the psychiatric floor at the Atlanta VA when she says a patient with past violent tendencies charged at her.
He pulls me down to the ground. And he started dragging me, punching me in my face and my head over and over and over again. And I'm just screaming, y'all, please get him. Help me, help me. I'm just like thinking in my mind, like, I'm never gonna see my kids again.
Her medical records show she suffered injuries to her jaw, face, neck, and shoulder. She also saw a psychiatrist who diagnosed her with PTSD.
It's like I'm just existing. I'm not living.
But the VA said her PTSD claim wasn't an accepted condition. Letitia says they wanted her back on the job just days after the attack, writing she has a, quote, responsibility to return to work.
It takes all I have to get out the bed and function. And it's like all they want me to do is go back to work.
She turned in documentation from her psychiatrist and doctor saying she should be off work for 90 days. But she was told she'd need to use her vacation days if she wanted time off, which she did until they ran out and she stopped.
Bullshit!
When you gotta worry about a paycheck, paying your bill.
You know what would fix this problem? Medicare for all.
Show the VA declined.
How many times do we have a problem here on this show and Medicare for all would fix it? It's so wild. Got problems with the VA? Medicare for all will fix that.
Issue her a continuation of pay, again stating her condition is not accepted.
They just left me out to dry.
Shortly after 11 Alive Investigates began asking questions, the U.S. Department of Labor intervened, ordering the VA to continue Letitia's pay pending her workers' comp claim. Meanwhile, Letitia's co-workers, who spoke to us under the promise of anonymity, say no one with VA leadership ever came to speak with them after the attack.
They had not even been on the unit. But like, how can you have a nurse get beat brutally in front of so many people and just treat it like nothing happened?
Letitia tried to press charges against this patient, hoping it would prevent this from happening again, but the VA decided not to pursue those charges because of the patient's mental state.
Who's going to be held accountable for what happened to me?
After 4 weeks of 11 Alive pressing VA leaders for answers, a spokesperson said it followed standard operating procedure, adding it is reviewing Ms. Shannon's PTSD claim and will provide the support she requires.
They failed me. They fell in the system and they fell in the patients. They have failed.
I mean, I don't know that I want charges pressed against somebody.
Has been accepted by the Department of Labor. She says she's grateful, but still concerned no formal investigation was
good. And that is another reason why, like, people ask me about what has the Biden administration accomplished? The National Labor Relations Board. VA is accountable and the Fed should give her money. I don't know if I want charges pressed if the dude is having a severe mental episode. He can't help it. He's in a facility that's supposed to be treating him, but is woefully inadequate at treating people with those symptoms because they're underfunded and understaffed. We did the story of Governor Patterson, former governor of New York, David Patterson, who was attacked. Apparently, something about his kid not doing taekwondo or something. We watched the story last night. People have now been charged.
Are under arrest, accused of assaulting former Governor David Patterson and his stepson over the weekend. The suspects include two boys, 12 and 13 years old.
All right, police still looking for one more assailant. Fox 5's Duarte Geraldino has more on how the attack happened.
On the right side of your screen is 34-year-old Diamond Mintor. On the left, 40-year-old Trevor Nurse. Police arresting the two of them in connection with a gang assault on former New York Governor David Patterson and his stepson, Anthony Sliwa. Both of the suspects are NYCHA employees.
He attacked me.
As he was being led into a police car, Nurse told reporters he was acting in self-defense.
That's what I was thinking, Minty, when we saw the story last night.
Are you on top of the fire myself?
Nurse is being charged with both gang assault and assault on a victim 65 years old and older.
Was there video?
Who is 70, admitted on Good Day New York he didn't back down after being struck.
I know that the person who hit me, I smashed their head into the window at McDonald's and threw them on the ground.
The NYPD released surveillance footage of 5 suspects. Police say the gang assault took place just after 8:30 Friday night. Patterson explained it all started when his stepson saw 3 people climbing a fire escape on 2nd Avenue between 96th and 97th Street. He told them to stop. Later, when Patterson...
Well, mind your own goddamn business.
They ran into the same group.
Well, the bad thing is that when Anthony fell, which is usually the time that a fight ends, they continued to assault him.
2 juveniles, ages 12 and 13, have already turned themselves in.
I was so happy that their parents came with them, that they turned themselves in, that they're being accountable here. I think that's a good start for them.
Now remember, police say 5 suspects were involved in this assault. 4 have either been arrested or taken into custody, but there's still 1 more out there. On the Upper East Side, Duarte Geraldino, Fox 5 News.
What if they've locked themselves out of their apartment? What if they've got some legitimate reason for me climbing a fire escape? Mind your own business. I'm just saying. What if they're trying to pull a prank on one of their friends or something? Sneaking up to see a girlfriend. I don't know. I'm not a narc. Ain't none of my goddamn business. Let's keep it in New York, where a street race apparently caught on video. Street racing stunts.
On Long Island are demanding a crackdown on illegal car racing meetups. Carolyn Gussoff covers Long Island and has the disturbing video of chaotic scenes this weekend at multiple locations in Suffolk County where a young spectator was hurt.
In videos shared widely on social media and by the outraged Brookhaven Town Supervisor, you can see brazen car meetups in 4 locations early Sunday morning, from Patchogue to Shirley, Sound Beach to Miller Place. Coordinated illegal events billed as takedowns.
Perhaps they're under the misconception that you can come out to Suffolk County, where it's less populated, and just go crazy. It's not going to happen.
Let's go crazy.
With people hanging off of cars, fireworks thrown. In Patchogue, one alleged reckless driver from Roosevelt was arrested for fleeing from police. A 19-year-old female spectator was hit by a car and was seriously injured.
This isn't a movie. These are people's lives. Somebody's going to get killed.
Neil Foley lives within earshot of Gateway Plaza in Patchogue.
It was just pure insanity of people getting together, causing chaos. There's thousands of dollars worth
of having fun.
It was just mind-numbing how loud it was.
In Sound Beach and Miller Place, cars were obstructing traffic, including an ambulance. We've been covering these illegal meetups for years. 2 years ago, Suffolk police announced a crackdown and began impounding cars.
What they do is donuts, and then people jump in the middle to take video.
Supervisor Panico says the law needs more teeth.
Make
for the TikTok and the gram.
Criminal justice system, and they are able to redeem these vehicles, pay the actual cost of the salaries of the police and everybody associated with their crime.
Senator Palumbo represents this area is drafting legislation to make it a new crime to block an emergency vehicle. And the town supervisor says he expects more arrests with all the cell phone video out there. In Patchogue, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS News, New York.
Well, it looked like somebody did get hit. That would be a reason to have emergency personnel there. Yeah, I do not recommend calling the cops ever. One, because cops are incompetent and they're probably not going to solve whatever problem you're having to begin with. Two, they're probably going to make it way worse. Just saying, we have watched story time and time and time again here on the show of cops getting involved and making things way, way worse. We hit the content warning for this because apparently somebody getting ready to take a bump. This is a circus acrobat. Boom. She is okay. She is okay. I mean, they know the dangers of the job. I don't know who's at fault there. A circus acrobat took a horrifying 20-foot tumble during her act, leaving her with both arms broken. Audience members, including kids, were left gasping as aerial gymnast Valeria Zephania took a shocking dive to the ground after a botched trick during her performance in the Russian city of Kemerovo. At first, everything seemed to be going swimmingly as Zapashania clung to her male partner and they started spinning high above the center ring without a safety harness. But then things took a nosedive when she attempted a backflip instead of landing gracefully in between her partner's extended legs. She misjudged and went crashing down to the floor. Show's director revealed she's already had surgery on one of her broken arms. He also stressed that though the accident was a human error on her part, she's in good spirits and ready to get back to performing as soon as she can. Looks like this isn't her first rodeo. Just 18 months earlier, Zapashnaya, who hails from a well-known Russian circus dynasty, took another nasty spill that left her with a broken arm and a lacerated forehead. I'm glad she just got broken arms. He is very lucky. Could have been much, much worse. Not like Owen Hart worse, but, you know, it could have been much, much worse. I could just pass off the AI puppy that we saw earlier as the animal video for the day, but I don't think I'm gonna. I got a good animal video here. Golden Retriever therapy dogs bring so much light to a young girl with leukemia. The music.
Should we have her sit first and you want to pet her? You can come pet her. That's so nice. Oh, you made that? You want to give a puppet show to Ellie? You want to come and feel this? So she has a little bump here and it makes her hair always stick up. But you know what else is really cool about that? Is she has a plush for you, a stuffed animal, and its hair sticks up too, just like that. You're welcome. Do you want to see her do some tricks? Yeah, all right.
First I want to stand back.
Okay, yes, smart. Good call. Good, wait.
Freedom.
She got it. Do you want to say the word, please?
Taste. Can she roll over?
She can. This floor is a little slippery, so it gets a little hard here.
You want to see mine?
Yeah, I'd love to see her roll over. Whoa. Impressive.
That means I'm a dog trainer?
Yes, you are an official dog trainer. Oh, I love it.
So proud of you, buddy.
Roll, 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 roll. Yay!
Avalon.
Oh, you made that?
We just got finished finding out what that news be doing. Here's your animal video of the night.
You want to come and feel
Get ready to fire up Live Music Monday on Twitch.
Always stick up. But you know what else is really cool about that? Is she has a plush for you, a stuffed animal, and its hair sticks up too, just like that. You're welcome. Do you want to see her do some tricks?
Live Music Monday this week, we're doing Chris Christopherson and Macklemore.
Smart. Good call. Good, wait.
That may seem like an odd combination, but I have my reasons.
Do you want to say the word, please?
Chris Christopherson just passed away. Macklemore is being canceled for his views on Gaza. Chris Christopherson, also a very vocal supporter of Palestinian rights for decades.
Oh, I love it.
I am not that familiar with either of them, so very much looking forward to Chris Christopherson, Macklemore. Live Music Monday coming up next on Twitch.
A little bump here and it makes her hair always stick up. But you know what else is really cool about that? Is she has a plush for you, a stuffed animal. And
He went on a rant about America, and this whole "Fuck America" chant got started, so people are trying to cancel him over it.
Okay, yes, smart. Good.
People are trying to cancel Macklemore for his "Fuck America" rant at a concert the other day.
Do you want to say the word, please?
So if you're watching on YouTube or the podcast, we're going to say goodbye to you. Don't forget, tomorrow night we've got the California Senate debate. Adam Schiff and Steve Garvey. Wednesday night is the Arizona Senate debate, the Michigan Senate debate. Holiday, I don't know. I told you good evening. So YouTube peeps, podcast peeps, go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right. Have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night.
And she has a plush for you, a stuffed animal, and its hair sticks up too, just like that. You're welcome. Do you want to see you do some tricks? Yeah, all right.
First I want to stand up.
Okay, yes, smart. Good call. Good, wait.
Freedom.
She got it.